Yeah.
Which one do you believe more? Like best? Best. Like, which part do you believe more? What are you like Christian or yeah. I don't know. I used to go to church. I don't really know. I used to go to church and then I found out oh my god.
Do you need help?
I don't know how to set this so it doesn't like going behind Foursquare too, but I don't know where those are at.
Back around?
Okay, when we leave, I need somebody to carry my stand.
I get you.
Bonnie.
Good morning, everyone. Now, this side did a very nice job. Let's try that one more time. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Nicely done. Nicely done. Thank you, everyone. On behalf of the students, the staff, and everyone here at Tulpehocken, we would like to welcome our honored guests for today. This is one of my favorite times of the year where we get to recognize our local community members and all the heroes that we have in this fantastic community. So please give your utmost attention and utmost respect to our local heroes here in our community. At this time, to start it off, I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Davis to get things started. Thank you, everyone.
Color guard, attention. Audience, stand up if you're able. Color guard, forward, march. Color guard, halt. Color guard, prepare to post the colors. Color guard, post the colors. Please join me in the pledge of our flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Color guard, reform. Color guard, forward, march. Color guard, about face. Color guard, at ease. Audience, you may be seated.
On June 28, 1919, the Treaty of Versailles officially marked the end of the First World War, but it is not seen as what ended the conflict. In 1918, on the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month, an armistice was signed to cease hostilities between the Allied nations and Germany during World War I. 1 year later, in November 1919, a proclamation was made by the President Woodrow Wilson. To us in America, the reflections of Armistice Day will be filled with solemn pride in the heroism of those who died in the country's service and with gratitude for the victory, both because of the thing from which it has freed us and because of the opportunity it has given America to show her sympathy and peace and justice in the councils of the nation. November 11th was now to be seen as Armistice Day. Despite World War I being seen as a war to end all wars, tragedy struck. On September 1st, 1939, Germany invaded Poland, marking the start of World War II. When America entered the war, it saw the greatest mobilization of more than 16 million people serving in the U.S. Army, Navy, Marines, and Air Force. At the end of World War II, the U.S. Congress had changed the original Armistice Day to Veterans Day in order to honor American veterans of all wars. Although this may just sound like history, it is important to acknowledge the foundations of this significant holiday so that today we can accurately praise the service provided by these brave men and women. I would like to start by saying to every veteran, thank you. Thank you for your service, your dedication, and your sacrifice to keep us and our country safe. We enjoy the freedom of being able to walk our streets and sleep with a peaceful assurance of safety. For this I say, I appreciate you. I pray that God will bless you and keep you safe. Now, let us continue to celebrate the service of our soldiers in the past, hold honor for the soldiers of the present, and encourage our generations of soldiers for the future.
Myself recently.
I suffer, with PTSD.
It just won't go away for a long time.
I hope that you think twice about what you are doing to this nation's veterans who are willing to die to protect this nation.
If the Army asked me to go again, to be deployed again, I would absolutely go.
I may give out, but I never give up.
Good morning. Our guest speakers this morning are two veterans who served our nation in two different wars. Ty Brodigan fought in the war in Afghanistan, and Master Sergeant Gabriel Swieger fought in the war in Iraq. Please welcome these two gentlemen to the stage.
First and foremost, if you guys could join me, there's a whole bunch of veterans over here that have done, and their families who have sacrificed for us and this country. So if you could give them a round of applause. And then I just want to take about 10 seconds if we could just completely be quiet, because there's a whole bunch of men and women that didn't make it back home. Thank you. So Sergeant asked me to come in here and speak with him today, and about my experience. And I've got to do a lot of things in my military career, but one of the best things I've ever got to do is I got selected by the United States Army to be a United States Army drill sergeant. And I got to do that all over the East Coast, here in Pennsylvania, Fort Jackson, South Carolina, and some other places. And with that, it afforded me the opportunity to train about 4,000 young men and women who volunteered to serve their country. And I just looked it up before I came up here. About 1.7% of the U.S. population has ever served or will serve at this time. So what's significant about that? And the way I look at it is, my responsibility to those young men and women when I trained them was within 6 months of them leaving me, they were going to be in Iraq or Afghanistan. And it was my opportunity to leave them with something. So I was probably a little harder than the other drill sergeants. I held a little higher expectation for those young men and women because I wanted those young men and women to be safe and come home based off the training I was able to afford them. And the way I looked at it is, that young man or woman was the one person. They were the one. They were the one that volunteered to serve their country. Whether it was for training, education, a venture, money, or just service to their country, they were the one. And if I gave that young man or woman the opportunity, they could be the one that would change the trajectory of their family's lives. They could be the one that could change the trajectory of their battle buddy, the person to their left or the right, their whole family's lives. So the people that stand in front of that flag and take the oath, they are the one. They're special. Because they have the opportunity to take their family tree and change it. And change it in a way that they can honor their sacrifices and their service and those that support them for the rest of their lives. So, I don't want to make this about me. I want to make it about those men and women over there, their support system. I spent the first 4 years of, 3 of the first 4 years out of my marriage, I didn't see my wife. I was serving my country and doing what I had volunteered to do. And thankfully, she stuck around, and now we're at 18 years and have 2 beautiful daughters. All right? So, it's about the person that serves, that one, and the person that supports them. So, if you do know a veteran or someone that served, whether it was for 4 years or a career, whether it's mom, dad, grandma, grandpa, they are the one. And please go home and thank them for their service. Thank you. Thank you.
My devil dogs. Happy 248th birthday, brothers. Happy birthday. And again, like Master Sergeant Squeaker said, happy Veterans Day. Alright? So, also, like Master Sergeant Squeaker said, that we're a voluntary force, right? So, we kind of know what we're getting into before we enter into the military. So, I'll kind of go over what I've done in the military so far, why I enlisted, and what were some of the sacrifices I've seen people make, especially when I was on my deployment back in 2012. So, back in 2008, my grandfather, he's my idol. He's the guy that I looked up to. He was a Marine. He was a Marine during Vietnam, and he served in Khe Sanh. All right, so in Khe Sanh, they were invaded by, I think it was an entire regiment of the Viet Cong. And he was able to fight those guys off and be able to make it back home. All right. So, the way he always spoke about the Marine Corps, his military service, what it did for him, always drove me to be able to want to serve my country and do exactly the kind of things that he did, all right? So, 2009 I enlisted. I graduated from Paris Island, and I went out to Okinawa, Japan. When I came back to the States, I was stationed at Camp Pendleton, and that's when I deployed to Afghanistan, all right? So, I was deployed for an entire year. I did personal security detail for General Dumford while I was out there. I wasn't married at the time. I didn't have any kids, but about 8 of the 15 people in the group that I left with, they were all married. Some of them had kids. They didn't see their wife or their kids for the entire year that we were out there. Also, I had 3 team members who had kids while we were on deployment that they had to see from a video that the mom or their mother-in-laws took while they were in the hospital and we were out on mission. So they got to miss the first 8, 9 months of their child's lives. There were 3 people on that deployment that never made it back. They paid the ultimate sacrifice. There's a lot that goes into what makes Veterans Day so special, and it's about what we're able to sacrifice. Not only the military service members, but their families, the wives, the children, the moms, the dads, the brothers, the sisters, the ones who never came back. That's why we thank these guys for what they do. We volunteered to do it, but like our speaker said, we're that 1% who volunteered to do all this stuff to make sure that we can keep this country safe. So, again, thank you guys so much for your service. Thank you for allowing us to come out and talk. I hope you guys have a great weekend. Thank you.
Been home about 6 months now, and I still have my doubts. Well, I'm not sure how I got here or how I'm gonna get out. Well, my mama says I look the same as I did before I left. But if she'll taste the powder from the barrel of my gun, and I can hear my sergeant screaming, "Run, soldier, run!" And I can feel the backpack on my shoulders, God, and weighed a ton. And I see death in every single thought. They taught me how to put that uniform on. I just can't get it off. Last Saturday they honored us in a small parade downtown. And when they shot off those fireworks, I nearly hit the ground. While they smiled and cheered for us, all I could do was stare. 'Cause part of me is here at home, but part of me's back there. Well, I can still taste the powder from the barrel of my gun, and I can hear my sergeant screaming, "Run, soldier, run!" And I can feel the backpack on my shoulders, God, and weighed a ton. And I see death in every single thought. They taught me how to put that uniform on. I just can't get it on. Yeah, there's no end in sight. 'Cause even though I'm home, I'm still fighting for my life. Well, I can still taste the powder from the barrel of my gun, and I can hear my sergeant screaming, "Run, soldier, run!" And I can feel the backpack on my shoulders, God, and weighed a ton. And I see death in every single thought. They taught me how to put that uniform on. I just can't get it off. Well, the devil's won some battles, and he may win some more. But don't he know the American soldier always win.
In honor of those brave and true who stood for us in red, white, and blue, we gather here with hearts so proud to salute our veterans, strong and loud. On this Veterans Day, we stand as one to thank those heroes, each and every one, who've sacrificed and served with grace in a world where freedom will find its place. They marched through battles, faced the storm, with courage, valor, and uniforms worn. Their dedication, an unwavering flame. For the land we cherish, they took the aim. In fields afar and on distant shores, they fought for peace in world uproars. Their stories etched in history's pages, through countless wars and endless stages. Through tears, through pain, through darkest nights, they lit the path with their own bright lights. For home and country, they gave their all. In times of peace, when our nation called, let us remember, let us never forget, the sacrifices made with no regret. For veterans past and those here today, we will honor you in every single way. With gratitude, respect, and love so true, we salute our veterans in the red, white, and blue. Their legacies live on, their courage we will remember this Veterans Day in unity and splendor.
One reason that we are here today is to honor the courageous soldiers that fought in World War II. This war changed the world forever, and the soldiers that chose to make the greatest sacrifices imaginable to defend our country deserve to be honored and respected. When freedom was under attack, the soldiers that served in World War II left their families, friends, loved ones, and home to fight in a war to save the freedoms that we are able to experience every day. These soldiers faced unbelievable struggles in war. These soldiers persevered through the toughest conditions of war. These soldiers went to unknown lands, facing unknown situations. These soldiers fought through the horrors of war. They stood up to the call to defend freedom, knowing it could cost them their lives. These soldiers protected freedom, protected us, and made sacrifices that will never be forgotten. It is hard to describe the conditions of any war, let alone World War II. World War II was a period of destruction, devastation, brutality, hostility, unforgivingness, and uncertainty. The soldiers we recognize here today went through the bloodiest battles in history, such as the invasion of Normandy, better known as D-Day, where soldiers jumped from their boats onto the shores of Normandy to face unrelenting machine gun fire, bombshells, and mines that could detonate with one wrong step. There were many soldiers that did not even reach the shore. Or the Battle of the Bulge, where 500,000 American troops fought against German forces and 19,000 American soldiers gave their lives to defend freedom, peace, and the democracy that we experience every day. As we honor and remember the soldiers that fought in World War II, the sacrifices that they made cannot be overlooked. Many of the soldiers left the war with wounds, both physical and mental, that will stay with them forever, wounds that we cannot even imagine. These soldiers will carry these wounds with them for the rest of their lives, but what they gave on the battlefield will never be forgotten and will never be taken for granted. As we celebrate Veterans Day, let us never forget the veterans of World War II, veterans that risked their lives to serve the call to defend freedom, veterans that sacrificed more than we can imagine. There is no possible way to repay these veterans for what they have endured through, experienced, and sacrificed and contributed to the world. But we can guarantee that they are remembered, honored, and respected for what they have done, and that we continue to uphold the values they fought to defend. Thank you, World War II veterans. You will never be forgotten. Your sacrifices will never be forgotten. We would now like to ask all World War II veterans present to stand and be recognized. We, the students and staff of Tulpehocken, thank you for your service.
As I pass the microphone around, can you please state your name, the branch of military you were in, and if you fought in any wars?
Jeff Kalbach, Navy, USS Chicago, Vietnam.
Norman Rice Snyder, Army, served in the 80th Division for 3.5 years. I was in the had charge of a radio section, so that was my service record. Now, I would like to say a few more words. I would like to congratulate our school superintendent, Mr. Netznik, for the fine opinion article in yesterday's Reading Eagle about how our teachers have influenced our lives. I can attest to that, for as a Pennsylvania German country boy, my first teacher in one-room Minnick school taught me to speak, write, and read English. Later, I had Miss Rickle and Professor Burkhardt and Francis Pop Moyer, who influenced me greatly. Mr. Moyer would read Ecclesiastes from the Bible the first day of school, which says, "There is a time for everything under the sun." Then he would add, "And this is the time to study." There have been others who have influenced me in my 102 years of life, and I'm thankful and grateful for all those folks. Thank you very much.
Kevin Jefferson, 101st Airborne, Iraq, Afghanistan.
Valerie Jefferson, Army, Iraq.
Staff Sergeant Darren Troutman, Global War on Terrorism, currently serving at 18 years.
Randy Wolf, Vietnam veteran. Warren Luckenbill, Vietnam, 1966, 67, 68.
Milford Hardig, U.S. Navy, VF-11, Forrestal.
Richard Reber, 7th U.S. Army, Germany.
John Hauk, Iraq, Afghanistan, and service in Guantanamo Bay, Cuba.
James Moyer, assigned to U.S. Army Reserves, attached to the 79th Division.
Jim Glass, U.S. Army.
Rob Deisman, United States Marine Corps, 25 years, OIF in Afghanistan.
Dan Plato, Army, Bosnia.
Donald Dobb, U.S. Army, Vietnam.
Stuart Moyer, I was stationed over in Austria and France.
Paul Heisey, 38 years in the Pennsylvania Air National Guard, having logged about 6,000 flying hours.
Harold Van Beck, served in the Air Force from 64 to 1968.
James Groomer, Navy, started with Vietnam, Cold War, ended with Desert Storm.
Thomas Bear, U.S. Marine Corps, happy birthday, Vietnam, 68, 69.
Clyde A. Wrigley, U.S. Army, Berlin Brigade, USCOB.
Bob Boyer, Sergeant, United States Air Force, the Philippines, Thailand, and Iceland.
Rich Gus, U.S. Army.
Jeremy Goss, Marine Corps.
Bruce Bayshore, Marine Corps.
Todd Zielinski, U.S. Marine Corps. I was part of 2nd Force Recon and Yankee White.
Robert Erb. I served in the United States Navy. I served on the USS Bordelon, DD-881, out of Charleston, South Carolina. I also served in the Army, the 121st Transportation in Lebanon, and I served under the Vietnam and also the Desert Storm in the background. Thank you.
Gary Paoletti, U.S. Navy, submarines, Vietnam era.
Andy Worley, Navy Special Warfare, 6 years, Vietnam, 27 years, Marine Corps.
Mike Burns, U.S. Air Force, from 1960 to 64.
Dwight Miller, U.S. Marine Corps, Vietnam.
Ralph Thomas, U.S. Navy, 65 to 68.
Reginald Robertson, United States Marine Corps, 1st Battalion, 9th Marines.
Walter Grath, U.S. Navy, 1957.
Harold Gruber, U.S. Army, 3rd Infantry Division, Germany.
Terrell Davis, United States Navy, DD-963 Spruance, Desert Storm.
Alan Coder, United States Marine Corps, Fallujah, Iraq.
Spencer Watts, U.S. Navy, Treasure Island.
Scotty Cyberling, United States Air Force and the Pennsylvania Air National Guard, 42 years total military service, Desert Storm, Desert Shield, Iraq, and Afghanistan.
Jonas Kreider, United States Navy, served on the nuclear submarine USS Scorpion.
Sean Arabona, United States Marine Corps, Albania and Bosnia, and Pennsylvania Army National Guard, Afghanistan.
Ron White, I was a medic with 196 Light Infantry in Vietnam.
Larry Gettle, United States Navy, excuse me, Vietnam.
Eric Pennypacker, United States Army, Operation Iraqi Freedom 3, Baghdad, Iraq.
May all those who are able please stand and let us take a moment to silently honor the veterans and those who made the ultimate sacrifice.
Color guard, attention. Audience, stand up if able. Color guard, forward, march. Color guard, halt. Color guard, prepare to retire the colors. Color guard, retire the colors. Color guard, forward, march. Color guard, about face. Color guard, at ease. Audience, you may be seated. On behalf of the students, the staff here at Tulpehocken, we can't tell everyone here enough how much you inspire us, how much we don't realize on a daily basis what you've provided for us and this country and this community. I'd like every student, every staff to please be on your feet and please give these veterans one more round of applause. I don't want to speak for all the adults in the room, but to be a part of a school like this where we have such impressive young men and women that honor their veterans, I can't thank you guys enough. You guys are so impressive, and I'm so excited and grateful to be a part of this. A couple people I want to acknowledge before we get out of here, and I'm going to embarrass them a little bit. Mr. Minnick, if you could please come on stage. I'd like to give a big round of applause to Mr. Minnick for helping put this all together. And last but not least, let me see if I can see her. She might be hiding. Miss Keeney for putting together the breakfast this morning. If we could please give her a big round of applause. There she is. Come here, Miss Keeney. Wave hello to everyone. No, I'm going to embarrass her. Thank you so much. We are so grateful from this Tulpehocken family and community for coming out today. Our numbers continue to grow, and next year we'd like to have even more and more and try to get everyone out here who's served our country. So one last time, we sincerely thank you for your service and are ever in your debt. So thank you. Students, we will be dismissing you by rows, okay? So thank you.
Truck and a 9 to 5 comes home at night to a pretty wife with a baby due. He'll sleep in on Saturday, cut the grass if it don't rain. After church, he'll watch the game and have a beer or two. He'll stand up when he hears the anthem, and that won't ever change. He's still a soldier. His blood runs red, white, and blue. He put away his gun and boots, but he still believes the American dream. To his last breath, he'll always be a soldier. He's still a soldier. On his couch for the news at 10, he'll see those places that he's been, and when a brother falls, there's a part of him that does too. And if they